Okay, this video has a lot of setup, so if you don't want to watch the setup and you just want to hop right into where I start the tutorial part of it, you can skip to this time now, but I recommend watching the setup because it will help explain how to think about design and do it every single time without having to watch a video on it. Okay, in this video, we're talking about how to take your film titles from this to this with a few steps in design principles that can really help elevate your game. You get the point, let's do it. Now at this point, I'm imagining you have a film or a video that you've already shot, you have the title in mind of what you want, you just don't know what to do with it to make it look really good. That's where I'm coming in to fill this blank. In my case though, I don't have a movie that I'm like titling, so I went to an online generator, found some generated titles, you know, if you would. I don't have a video, so I'm grabbing photos, same deal. Imagine they're still frames from the movie. But now that you have your title, you have the image or the still frame that you're going to put this title on. You know what, themes and feelings you're having about this movie, what it's about. You're gonna wanna find a font that gives you that same feeling. Now, not all of us are typographers. I went to design school. I have a background in it, but I'm not saying I'm the best. I am saying that I think about fonts in a way that you might not. So this is what I want you to do when looking for a font. Go to befonts.com or befonts.com. It's a free place to get fonts. It's pretty good. Now, most of these are personal use, so keep that in mind. Scroll around, find some fonts that you like, and think about if that font gives you the same feeling when you look at it as the feeling you get from the movie you just made or whatever the movie's about. You have to match the feeling of the font to the feeling of the movie. Just like color gives feeling to the movie, your font needs to also do so for the title to fit and look good in the shot. I found some fonts that I like, and I'm going to go ahead and go to Photoshop, and we're going to design some title cards. Let's do this. And now that we're in Photoshop, I went ahead and I dragged those images in that I mentioned. Remember, we have 3 different titles from that generator. The first one was Bandits of War, the second was Hunter, and the third was Devils of the North. However, all 3 of those that I just showed you, look how bad this title looks right now. So what do we do about that? Well, let's think about it. Okay, Bandits of War, the feeling of war would be probably, pretty strong, pretty harsh. It's not a gentle feeling. So we don't want a gentle, soft font. We want very hard lines, and we want to, kind of format it so it feels possibly constricted or something like that. You don't want it to feel all open and flowing. You want it to feel very harsh. I found some fonts that are good for this, as you can see here. I found this font on befonts.com, and I think it goes really well. So let's go ahead and change this font, and it's lowercase. I feel like war, once again, it's intense, right? So we should make it feel more intense. Let's go ahead over to our paragraph panel, type options, and make it capitalized. Perfect, there we go. You can also just type it in all caps, but I didn't feel like doing that. And I'm going to bring this up. Let's center that text. Bandits of War kind of feels boring. Sure, we could leave it like this, and it looks a whole lot better than it just did, but what if we change some things up, right? So let's delete that, just type in the word bandits, hold Alt, copy that word, replace the word with of, press the check mark, shrink this down, and I'm going to bring it here. Bandits of, right? And then we're gonna do one more time. We're gonna copy that by holding Alt, bandits of, and then war. Line it up, let's drag this to the beginning of the A, drag it down so the top of it is matching with that. Command G, group all 3 of those together. Then up here, I'm gonna censor it. And then if you wanna bring this one step further and add some design and some visual, appealing things to it, double click the group that you just made, drop shadow it, change the color of the drop shadow if you want to like black, make it a bit more intense. Everyone has a different preference, so this is kind of where your creativity needs to come in play. Let's add an outer glow, but maybe we'll take the atmospheric color, of that blue in the sky there, gray in the sky there. Bring that up, just play around with your ideas. That's all this is, and I'm cool with that. I think that looks good. Now, let's move on to the second one really quickly. Hunter, I found a picture of a guy in the woods, kind of feels like a hunter, right? It's a story about a hunter. What font feels good with that? Well, I don't know, something a little more soft and natural feeling, like the woods or like nature. Let's click the word, select the whole thing, and I found a font called Mavericks or Mavericks. I don't know. I'm going to increase the size of the font, hold Option, and you can scale it from the center. Scale it to where I like. I think that's a good size. We have the word hunter here. Now, I feel as if the word hunter should be a different color because it kind of doesn't really fit the white feeling font with this. Does that make sense? I don't think it makes sense, but I think you get the point that we're gonna change the color. Color overlay, and I have this color, that's my base color that I use in almost every single video that you have watched, FFD 935, that's the hexadecimal code. I'm gonna keep it there because I like that color. I think it actually looks quite good for this. However, I feel like it's a little bright compared to the photo, so drop shadow, let's soften that drop shadow, bring the size up. And now that we added that drop shadow, press OK. And I kind of like that. I think that's, it's nothing fancy because you don't have to be a great graphic designer to do something better than, that original white title you had. But I think that's a good look. We're gonna move on. The last one is Devils of the North. Once again, terrible looking font. This does not work. We need to have contrast in it. We need to have it feel like the cold, or feel like it fits with the feeling of how intense this north scene I have is. So I went ahead and already did this one. I will show you how I did it. I'll break it down for you. Turn this layer off. This is what I came up with at the end of it. Once again, it's the same color as the last one because I feel like those colors kind of work. Yellow goes with the nature green earth tones, and then yellow also is complementary to blue, which is a lot of what you see in like icy, cold, snowy environments in films. Yellow bounces well. You don't have to use this font. You might, once again, disagree with my design choices. However, this is the font I came up with. Now, the font itself is Americana Retro. It's a pretty good font. Once again, got every font on this video off of bfonts.com for free for personal use. That being said, I went ahead, these are 3 different text sections: North, Devils, and Of the, 3 different things. I went ahead and made Of the small because it's not very important. You see the train of thought I'm trying to think here? I try to piece together what's most important about the title and what the film theme is, piece those together and see what I feel from that. Now, I feel like, you know, Devils of the North sounds like a very older, maybe possibly Western or American feeling thing. And if you're not American, I'm not saying this in an insulting way. I'm just saying from my culture, from what I've learned in life and how I feel like it kind of fits that feeling. So that's why I chose, you know, this Western-y looking font. I actually highlighted the H and highlighted the N and made the text size a bit bigger than the other part of the text, just for emphasis, so we could kind of like group in the word of the to the center and frame it nicely. All of this is about composition the same way that film would be about composition, because this is, once again, part of your film, and it needs to follow the same rules of composition that your film will. And you're done. You're done. This is a long video, so I'm not going to go into a long outro. That's it. It's that simple. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. Peace out.